You're trading for years at this point, yet you're still unprofitable because you chose the wrong decisions, and that led to you blowing profit from challenges over and over again. Imagine that sweet payout, imagine that sweet life that you could have lived, or whatever you want in life that you could have bought from that payout if you would have just stayed disciplined. Most traders believe it's a strategy. No, it's not a strategy. I've made countless of different videos on my main YouTube channel where I've already explained to you all of the different strategies that I use to get countless of different payouts. So why are traders still failing? If I'm sharing the exact setup, the exact trade idea that I'm trading with, and I've got a lot of payouts with it, the answer to that is going to be discipline. Traders lack discipline. So this is why we're going to be live trading today. I'm going to be taking a setup. I'll walk you through how to take it, where the stop loss is going to be, where the take profit is going to be, where I'm going to be entering, when I'm going to be entering, all of that good stuff. So first things first, we want to start our day as usual at 8:30. Okay, so this is going to be 8:30, and we want to do our pre-market analysis. So let's for that go on to the daily time frame. There we go. And we want to ask ourselves, is it more likely that the price action is going to keep on trading higher, or is it more likely that it's going to keep on trading lower? I would personally say, because we don't have a no-way candle in here, this could be a valid reason for the price action to just tank onto the downside. But I would like to pair this with 4-hour information. Okay, yeah, I'm probably going to be saying that we need to trade lower, but firstly higher. So something realistic that is going to happen is something like this: into the FEG first, fake out all of the guys that are going to be taking a short in here, take them out, and then liquidate all of the people who wanted to take a long. This could be something realistic. Now, but we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, because I don't like predicting 2, 3, 4, 5 different steps of the market. There's just a projection for that sense. We're going to be marking this out, because I really just want to know what is going to be the next step. But I always like to have basically an entire view about the market as a whole, also on the higher time frame. So let me remove all of this. We go into our notes. It's going to be today pre-market. This was on the 4-hour time frame, and we are going to be saying 4-hour time frame looks like a fake out day today. Let's just put it this way: fake out day. Okay, from this point on, pretty much the pre-market analysis are almost done. Let's mark out our 50-minute range. It is definitely going to be that low and also that high. Now you could arguably be saying, okay, it's going to be that high. This is going to be the high if we are going to be trading onto the upside and we are not able to catch a setup. Then I'm going to be taking this high. But for right now, I'm gonna only take this low and this high. Okay, so now range has also been identified. We're going to be taking a screenshot of all of this. Remove that BS. There we go. This is the 50-minute time frame, and we're also going to be saying, just like that, if price trades higher, then 50-minute range will be adjusted. Okay, that's basically our plan that we're having for this entire trading day. Now currently we are almost at 8:30, or we are already. Hang on, let me check this out. It's going to be on the 1-minute time frame. Yes. Now from this point on, I like to pull out my trading plan. Okay, so first of all, we have done our high time frame bias. That is already checked. Now the next thing that we want to see is our 50-minute range. We have also checked that. Now we need to see a liquidity rate. Okay, first things first, like what direction do we want to trade into to begin with? I would like to trade onto the downside, but for that, firstly, I want a liquidity rate to occur after 8:30. So either it's going to be that high or something along the way. If we're going to be trading lower without getting what we're waiting for, well, then we're going to be changing our buys. We're going to be seeing what the market is going to give us at that moment in time. That's basically the entire plan for today. So it looks like we are truly trading onto the downside. Once again, I am looking out for a liquidity rate. Either it's going to be that high that has been taken out, or we're going to be changing our buys, but that's only going to be happening if we're going to see strong movement onto the upside. Okay, some big ass candle like this one, then maybe I could be changing my buys to trade higher. But for right now, no. So this is pretty much just the phase where we have to wait a lot. There's not much to do, and we have a strict trading plan, and as long as not all of those are checked, we're not going to be taking a trade. For you, this will be a cut. For me, this will be, I don't know, a couple of minutes probably. Okay, so we do truly are trading onto the upside a little bit, but that's not going to be enough. What is going to be the minimum basically for me is a strong candle, you know, something like this. Okay, it has to be even stronger. Then what we currently have, this also means just a liquidity rate. So we go into our pinned notes, trading plan. Okay, liquidity rate has happened. Now we are looking out for the very last thing, which is going to be a movement candle. We just want to see a strong movement candle trading onto the downside. Okay, liquidity has been taken out. You can also see it this way. We're trading towards all of these FEGs. These are going to be dragging the price lower. Although I don't believe that this FEG is going to be holding, we're going to be ignoring it, trading into this FEG instead. This is probably what we'll be doing. Yeah, from this point on, we're basically going to be trading this onto the downside. It's going to be 1 minute. And we'll also include this in our trading plan. So let's go to our notes, pre-market, scroll lower. I'm going to be drawing this out in here, and then I want to trade this lower. This is going to be our entire idea for today. Okay, there we go. Let's go back to our pinned notes, and from here on it's really just waiting time as usual, guys. Okay, so there we go. We have traded into the FEG, although not a requirement for us to trade onto the downside, but it's something good to have. See it this way, we have something that is dragging the price lower. This is sort of a defending point of the sellers, if you want it like that. But of course, if we're going to be trading onto the upside, then it's going to be a different story, and perhaps changing buys, this and that. You know, I'm not entirely against changing the bias. I have said it in previous videos. The problem with trading or changing the bias for a lot of traders is they're changing the bias based on, you know, just a one-time event, if you want it like that. So let's just say they're going to be taking a short, and you know what's funny? Every time that I'm going to be pulling up a position tool, the retention spike just spikes basically. Okay, every single time. But now, man, basically they're going to be taking a loss, and then all of a sudden now they want to trade on to the upside. Okay, this is absolutely the worst that you can do. If you have taken a loss and there's clear reasons on why you want to trade this higher because of XYZ reason, then yeah, that's a cool thing to do basically. But if you are just changing your bias because you have taken a loss, then that's of course bad. And for all of the motherfuckers that have been here just because I've done a position tool, man, I'm not going to say anything mean. Nah, man, like, I'm not even totally against it. I get it, you know, you want to get straight into the action. But what just traders in general don't realize is that most of my time is not trading. Most of my time is looking at charts and collecting the data. That's the job of a trader. See it this way. So what's your favorite football player? I mean, World Cup has ended, man. Argentina's ass got kicked. But what's your favorite soccer player? Or any sport whatsoever, hero, I don't know, okay? He's training fucking for years to play in the World Cup. The World Cup is only every 4 years. Of course, there's going to be some kind of football events, you know, during the time where there's no World Cup, we get that, but the World Cup is like the pinnacle, okay? Guy's been training for 4 years to get into the World Cup. So that's, I mean, how much is that? Like, let's pull it up real quick, calculator. So that's 365 times 4. That's 1,460 days. Yeah, you know, some weekends here and there, but you get my point. You know, most of the times these guys are basically training. He's training all of that to play 90 minutes on the field. He spent, like, let it even just be 1,000 days that he has trained for this moment. And he's playing on the field for 90 minutes. And trading is not different than being a football player, okay, or any sort of profession. The most amount of time that you are doing as a trader is not trading, but it's looking at price action. Okay, you're looking at price action. And then of course you're collecting the data. Trading is only a small part. You know, I'm going to be taking a trade. After that, there's not really much to do. The most that I'm going to do is manage to trade, but the decision has already been made. That's it. Okay, so, you know, countless of different times I was watching the charts for even more, like, let's just say 1 hour, okay, but I was in the trade for 2 minutes. I've watched the price action for 1 hour, not taking a bad decision, just to be in the trade for 2 minutes. You know, if anything, this is a reward. Being so patient. 2 minutes, boom, I'm out. Okay? Because what's worse, looking at price action that you have not taken a trade on, so there's basically nothing on the line right now, or being in a trade for 1 hour on end and thinking to yourself, maybe long, maybe short, maybe should I take this, maybe should I do XYZ and whatsoever. To me, any day of the week, it is easier on a psychology not being in a trade, of course. Although I know guys who are watching these videos, or in general traders, you want to get into the action, you want to get into the trades, you want to take a trade and participate and boom, 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 boom. Nah, man. That's the wrong game then. That's the wrong way of making money in this case, okay? If this is really all that you really care about in trading, then this is the wrong niche. Go to a different one. I'm being completely honest with you here. This is making these videos for professionals who are actually serious about all of this, for people who want to learn this, for people who understand, okay, this is going to take time. Okay, taking a trade is not going to be the most amount of time that I'm spending as a trader. Collecting the data and looking at candlesticks, that's the most amount of time that I'm spending. Okay, it sounds cliche because I've seen it in some Instagram kid or TikTok kid description, okay, on his profile, its description. It says, lifelong student of the market. Like, yeah, but just shut up. Like, what about this? Like, how about this? You just shut up, man, like with that sentence. And yes, it is true. It is true though, although it sounds so cliche and I've heard it a million different times at this point. But it is true, okay? I'll give you that. This will be also a good example. Okay, I don't hope that it happens because that means I have to stay in longer to wait for a setup. But if we're going to be running these highs, then this will be a very good example of showing you how we have avoided taking a loss. Because remember, we wanted to take this onto the downside. So if we would have just taken a trade, somewhere in the year, I mean, there isn't even a trade, okay? Because we didn't have our confirmation, but let's just imagine we would have been stopped out in here. Why? Because we did not follow our rules, which is going to be a movement candle. Did we have a movement candle? No, we did not have a movement candle. So there's also not going to be a trade. And this is why it's so important just sticking to the rules, as they are going to be able to prevent you from taking losses, unnecessary losses. But let's put it this way. Now I'm gonna also do this. So this is going to be our range low, and this one is going to be our range high. There we go. Let's put it to the top. Okay, there we go. Shit's starting to get interesting, man. Let me turn off my phone, man. Fuck that shit. This is going to be looking like our movement candle. It looks scary. It looks like we're going to be continuing on to the upside, but don't worry, man. But we always need confirmation. We're not just going to be jumping into the trade. We need confirmation of it going to stay like this. If it's not going to stay like this, then no, I'll not be taking a trade. Okay, there is no trade. Why am I not going to be taking a trade? And it doesn't mean that I'm not going to be taking a trade at all right now, but this is just simply not a movement candle, okay? The body to wick ratio is way too much. So if we're going to be zooming in real quick, okay? You see, this is going to be the body, okay, which is like approximately already like 55% or something like that of the entire candle, okay? So the entire size of the candle is filled up by 55%. But the wick, okay, let me do it in a different color for you so you can see it well. The wick is going to be, let me put it in blue as well. It's going to be, well, that's pretty much going to be remaining, isn't it? So like 45%, 45%, okay? Now this is the problem, because a movement candle has at least like a 70% of a body closure, okay? This is why I'm not going to be taking a trade, and it might run lower, maybe not, but I'm not going to be taking a trade. Once again, I only take trades if my requirement has been met, which is going to be a movement candle, and this is not a movement candle, guys. Don't get fooled. This is what's going to happen to you a lot of times. And you see also, at one point in time, this candle was looking like that. Wait, let me do it in red. See, this entire candle was looking like this. And in that moment of time, most of y'all would have already taken a trade, and you would have been in hardcore drawdown right now, and hardcore, okay? Look, the position would be looking something like this right now. Okay, let's just say your stop loss is going to be above this high. You would be starting to get into a loss already. Why? Because you have not let the candle close. 99% of the cases, I'm always going to let the candle close. Sometimes, this comes also a little bit with experience, but you don't even need that experience in order to trade this correctly, okay? But I am waiting out for a candle closure, and this was not a candle closure, and this would have costed me a loss. See, you're not seeing the scenarios where you would have already messed this up. Put it this way. When you're looking at the star price action, how many times would have you taken a short already? Okay, the reason why you're not really thinking about it enough is because it didn't happen. Okay, it just didn't happen because you're watching me right now. Shout out to all of the guys who are watching to this moment right now. As most traders, as usual, like I know traders well. Like they just want to see the trade. They have learned nothing out of the video, okay? They learned nothing out of the video. They just watched to the end, saw how the trade played out, and that's it. If you have watched this moment in time, which minority are going to be, make sure to leave a comment actually. Okay, this is exactly in my on YouTube on my retention graph where most people are not going to be watching the video. Even though this is the goal, this is me taking the trade. This is, of course it's important, but it's not as important as explaining all of the different nuggets that I'm giving you in here. So yeah, people don't realize that how many losses they would have already taken, and so just because it hasn't basically happened, that's the reason why they just can't picture it, they can't think of it. That's basically the entire thing that I want to give you along the way. It's always so easy basically looking at the wins and so on, but how many losses would have you already taken because I'm sure like a lot of you, even though it's hard to admit, I get it, it's hard to admit, but let's be real here, a lot of you watching up until this point, you would have taken a trade onto the downside and you would have already lost a trade because we have already ran this high. Okay, this would have already been a loss. So once again, you want to be patient, you want to be waiting this out. Even if we're going to be taking a loss today, okay? Everything I say still applies. Okay, this is going to be our next update. We have ran those highs. Now from here on, I am probably going to be still looking out for a movement candle, but not long, depending on how we move from here. This 15-minute candle is going to decide whether we change our buys or we still want to trade onto the downside. Right now, still I want to trade onto the downside, and especially, let me remove the star FAG. We want to trade in here into this BPR. But yeah, let's see how this goes. Let me check the premium to discount. Yes, we have already traded into a premium, as you can see. Okay, so it's pretty much a plan. Okay, we're starting a movement candle. Let's see, are we going to be closing like this? Still, you see, how many of you would have already pressed the sell button here? Okay, this is going to be price action mastery. I'm marking the price action in here, okay? How many would have already pressed a sell right here just because the candle is going lower? I wait for the candle closure. And it looks like the move is running without me, and it kind of is also, but I am going to be waiting this out because this candle can reverse anytime, any moment, and then I'll just regret taking the trade. So I'm rather going to be waiting. See, it's even going higher. I'm getting a little bit of a better price. Let's wait a little bit longer until a wick to the high has been created. There we go. So we're in shorts right now. Okay, let me remove all of this BS. There we go. This is going to be our trade. Well, we don't want to trade all the way higher in there. We want to trade this lower into the range low. Or at the very minimum, we're going to be trading this into the BPR in here. And then let's just see how much movement more we can get. Now this is actually going to be a 1 for 3. I've just seen it. Okay, so we're risking risk to reward basically to gain 3. This could be looking better. I'm not going to be backing off the price action once it gets higher in here. I'm only going to be basically closing the trade once I see strong movement onto the upside, and yes, then it's worth it closing the trade. But as of right now, I'm not going to be closing. We're just going to let it run for now. Man, we're trading onto the upside. Still, we're going to be staying into the trade. Only if I see clear confirmation that we're going to be running all of those highs, like this one or a lot of the previous ones, then yes. But as of right now, this all to me is just a pullback. So continuation or reversal onto the downside, pullback, and then probably going to have a continuation again. Or we're just going to be starting to consolidate in here. This will be quite ass, not gonna lie to you, because then it's going to take more of my day. Not too bad. Now here's going to be a little bit of a problem. Not really a problem, but there is going to be a chance that we're going to be reversing from this BPR on the 50-minute time frame. There's a chance which I don't believe, but if we're going to be seeing the right confirmation, then yes, I'll also be closing very early on. And then this is going to be a rather short trading day, which is good, but also a small one. Well, let's just see. This is going to depend on a price action. If we are starting to reject off this 50-minute BPR, then yeah, I'm just going to be closing the trade right there. I'm going to kill it. But if we're going to be ignoring it, trading with body closures below it, and then we're going to be continuing on to the upside, then I'm not going to be closing the trade, because then we are ignoring the FEG and we're just only having a pullback in that sense. Okay, so very simple, very short explained. If we are going to be respecting this BPR and trading higher, I'm probably going to kill it. If we're going to be ignoring the BPR and then having a pullback, then I'm not going to be killing it, most likely, because, well, we did not respect the BPR, but we're just having pullback. Okay, this is all just going to be your pullback. Okay, now it gets very messy, so let's remove it. We are currently running in a 1-to-1 actually. Okay, that's like not a lot. Okay, we are looking like we are starting to reject from the BPR. Not good, really not good. This is only 50-minute time frame, because if we keep on trading onto the upside, then I'm going to be closing it. I don't like it at all. I don't even want it to get all the way into this FEG even. Okay, even just getting close to this FEG is going to be a little bit too much than it should. And then from that point on, yeah, okay, that's not looking good. But to be honest, it also still doesn't look like it wants to continue. This still looks like a pullback to me, instead of trading onto the upside. I know for you it might look like, okay, you know, I just can't get out of the price action, but I am taking on objective, basically, decision on this, or not objective, but out of experience, and I know that it's worth it staying into the trade. Because, you know, I'm the first guy who gets out as soon as I see a bad signal, but this still looks okay. And the reason for that is quite simple, because we are leaving while we're going higher, also imbalances, you see. So it goes both ways. See, this is going to be what? A BPR on the 1 minute time frame. So let me mark it out. BPR, okay, you probably can't even see it. BPR, 1 minute. So it basically goes both ways. Even though we are trading into this FEG, we are also creating downside movement, such as the BPR. Now, if we are, though, going to be continuing higher, lower again, rejecting off from this 1 minute BPR, then it's like 99% over. Okay, this is something that I can basically tell you with a lot of confidence. You never know what the price action is going to look like in that moment in time. But I can tell you, if we're going to be trading, having this scenario basically, then there's not going to be much of a reason to stay into the price action. So you see, I basically see everything as magnets. A magnet onto the upside, a magnet onto the downside, and I just weight those magnets, okay? So how much weight does the 50-minute BPR have? How much weight does the 1 minute BPR have? So the 50-minute BPR is holding weight in terms of, okay, I believe that we're having, you know, of course it can also run into a loss, but my objection for that is going to be that we're going to be having a short-term reversal of the 50-minute BPR, short-term reversal, faking out everybody who is going to be taking a long right now because of the BPR, and then we're going to be liquidating all of those guys. That's my projection today. Maybe I'm wrong with the projection, because you want to be outcome independent as a whole. You never, sometimes I'm also very confident in my trading setups. I do admit that, but I'm always having in the back of my mind, this setup can fail. Okay, and somebody on the other side of the world who has taken the exact opposite of my trade. Okay, so he has basically entered at the 50-minute BPR, which right now we want to trade lower, has taken that kind of trade, and I'm going to get liquidated, which, you know, no people are going to get liquidated, or at least not me. It has basically become such a culture at this point. People are saying liquidated, man. Liquidated means when you have lost all of your shit, man. Like stop loss it is the right way to say it, basically. So this is the moment of truth. Are we going to be rejecting off this 1 minute BPR, or are we just going to be ignoring the fuck out of it and trade onto the downside? This is the question. This is going to decide, okay, whether or not we're going to be staying to the trade or not. And also, let me adjust this. Movement candle has been fulfilled. Okay, we're starting to see rejection. Let the candle close though. Let it close. We're not going to be taking a decision yet. Let it close. Let it go. Let him. Kind of also interesting, okay? So we're having 30 seconds until it's going to be decided whether we're going to stay into the trade or not. You know, this could be like a live commentary, like a football commentary guy. You know, we're seeing Messi being on the front line. He's about to shoot a goal. Then Ronaldo's coming and he's about to take him the ball out and some kind of shit, man. Okay, anyways, so let's just see how it's going to close. If it's going to close like that, we're going to be staying into the trade. Because then, yes, we're rejecting off the BPR, but we're also not showing strong willingness. So let's see. Okay, we're going to be staying into the trade for now. So it's going to be 1 more minute. Or not 1 more minute. It is just going to depend on how the candles look like. So you see, if the candle would have closed with a body closure, that's why so many times I'm explaining to you it's about the body candles for weeks. Not because it's running lower right now, but just as a general thing, and very extremely powerful also concept to just know about. See, if this candle would have closed something like this, and it has to close, not, you know, in the moment, let me get out, I'm scared. In the moment when it's closed, then I would have taken out at a small loss and call it a day. I'm probably not even going to be continuing taking a trade anymore. This would have been also already enough for me. But since I've waited the candle out, we've not seen what we wanted to see basically. Or yes, we did see what we wanted to see. We are still in the trade. Then we would have just gotten out. Simple as that. And this just continues the same concept I applied every single time. Also, I just checkmarked the movement candle as we have also seen that. So once again, the 50-minute range was what I believe just a short-term pullback onto the upside. And now perhaps we can trade lower. There we go. We're starting to see some movement lower, man. Hopefully we can get out of this pretty soon, as I already had enough price action for today. Okay, let's see, man. Yeah, we could be already getting out, to be honest. Let me watch this on the 50-minute real quick. Now we're going to be staying into this. Okay, say it with me. Yeah, this was just, I thought it's funny saying this, you know, bell. Anyways, guys, okay? You don't have to laugh if it's not funny to you, okay? Okay, jokes aside, let's go on to the notes. Let's go to the post-trade. Let's take a screenshot of all of this. This was a really nice day. Nothing to complain about, you know. Let's go and log in the trade. Let's actually put this into half screen. There we go. We're going to be journaling our trade as usual. So this was the entry price. Let me put it in here. Entry, stop loss. Then we got the take profit. It's already collecting how much, this was pretty much the best, or one of the best price action live trades that I've done so far, as this was just mastery. Okay, we have predicted every single outcome, and we've also adapted pretty well. Okay, we've adapted to the price action, not only taking the setup but also adapted to what it's currently telling us. Okay, so this is going to be 902. We have taken the trade and we have ended it at 925. Okay, so let's put in here at 925. Okay, this, we're only going to be journaling this into our $100 to prove it's not luck. This was 1 minute. Today we did not even go on to like 3 minute or something like that. This was 1 minute, 50-minute, daily, and full hour. Okay, this was at New York. Our strategy, 50-minute range model. This is closed. Yeah, pretty much everything should be in line right now. Okay, let's take a screenshot of all of this. There we go. Put it in here. Contract size, I almost forgot, 0.2 was it. Okay, there we go. We have logged in the trade. Let's go on to our entire dashboard. And as you can see, that's another win for us. Let's go to our entire trade library. I have not shown the trade library too much. There's currently all of the different trades that we have collected. We are barely taking losses, and even if we're taking losses, they're not really significant. This was on the smaller end today, because or I wouldn't even say on the smaller end. The previous days were just pretty crazy, you know, 400, almost 500, 400. I mean, not 400, but 280. Currently, we are at 2.2K. So yeah, as usual, guys, if you are looking at this journal and you like what you're seeing, the link to that is in the description down below. It's my personal journal built on traders who are looking for discipline over anything else. If you want to be mentored by me one-on-one, it's also in the description down below. And I've also shown this entire strategy, which once again, let's go on to the 50-minute range model journal. As you can see, I've backtested over 1,000 trades with this entire strategy. It's been only data driven, okay? There's nothing sort of, yeah, trust me, bro, you know, none of that BS. It is fully data based. And that strategy, my friend, is going to be for free for you to learn on my main channel. It's linked on the screen right now, probably on the left side of the screen right now. And yeah, and with that being said, remember guys, always trade based off data and not guesses.